arresting someone is one thing, but invading a country to do that, that's a whole different legal universe. That's what Trump did with the Venezuelan president, and he may not stop at that. Less than 2 days after abducting Nicolas Maduro, Trump seems to be training his guns on the others. He has a hit list of sorts. Let me pull up a world map to show you. Trump has already got Venezuela. His next target could be Colombia. Colombia is the fourth largest country in South America. It has a population of 52 million. Colombia, too, has substantial oil reserves. It also has silver, gold, and copper deposits and natural resources. Colombia's president is a man called Gustavo Petro. He is the country's first left-wing president, and Trump does not like him. He calls Petro a sick man selling cocaine. Listen to this.
Now, we have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor. And that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. And he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long?
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S.
It sounds good to me. Yeah. You know why? Because they kill a lot of people, yeah.
So Trump has a problem with the Colombian president. He accuses him of running cocaine mills and factories, and he doesn't rule out a U.S. operation in Colombia. How has Colombia reacted to this? With outrage, of course. President Gustavo Petro has asked Donald Trump to stop slandering him. He says he's willing to take up arms if push comes to shove. The next country on this list is Cuba, the country of Fidel Castro. Cuba has a population of 11 million people. It has survived U.S. sanctions for decades. Their current president is Miguel Diaz-Canel, and he may be on Washington's hit list. Although it wasn't Donald Trump who first mentioned Cuba, it was Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State. Rubio said Cuba could be in a lot of trouble. And when Trump was asked about it, here's how he responded.
Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
We're not. I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. It's going down for the count. You ever watch a fight?
No direct invasion threat like Colombia, because Trump thinks that Cuba will fall on its own. You just heard him. Nonetheless, his comments are enough to keep the country on edge. Then we have Mexico. Mexico is America's immediate neighbor. It has a population of 129 million. Their president is Claudia Sheinbaum. Mexico has been in focus ever since Trump imposed steep tariffs on them. He started with 50% tariffs, then reduced it to 30%, and now Trump wants to send troops into Mexico.
And by the way, you have to do something with Mexico. Mexico has to get their act together because they're pouring through Mexico, and we're going to have to do something. We'd love Mexico to do it. They're capable of doing it. But unfortunately, the cartels are very strong in Mexico.
I remember one time you actually, speaking of Mexico, I asked you about Claudia Sheinbaum, and you told me at one point you had offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to combat drug trafficking there. Is that something you have spoken to her about?
I think she's a terrific person. I would say every single time I talk to her, I offer to send troops.
And she's just not willing?
She's concerned. She's a little afraid. The cartels are running Mexico. Whether you like it or not, it's not nice to say, but the cartels are running Mexico.
So Mexico has a drug cartel problem. These drugs are flowing into the U.S. Trump wanted. Now, most of these countries we mentioned on Trump's hit list are in Latin America, basically in...
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yabushai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and who pushing, the 100% truth. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. All right. And the name of this lesson, this video is, the Lord, a trap is being set up for, America. All right. Babylon the Great. Okay. And as you've seen here recently here this year, 2026. Okay. Trump, capture, the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, and took over, Venezuela, and ever since that now, you see his targets now is Cuba, Mexico, Greenland, and, all these places, and this is the Lord lifting up this, devil pride. Okay, his pride is being lifted up, you know, you know, okay, and that's the trap. The Lord setting them on that stage of pride, to put, to soon eventually get them in that trap. Okay, now they figure they're unstoppable now, because they just come, as you see there, in Venezuela, bomb it up, and just kidnap the president. So now they feel they're unstoppable, they're untouchable. Now they're going for all these countries to get the resources, the gold, the oil, and whatnot. And that's the trap, because that's the trap what the Lord have for them. Because Trump, I don't know if, I think Trump was talking up with the netting nutter Jew, and they were talking about the plans, for they want to take over Iran. All right, and once they hit Iran, all right, because that's the ultimate goal. Okay, that's the trap they're gonna fall into, and that gonna cause, all right, World War III. So this is all prophecy here taking place. All right. Okay, wars and rumors of wars. Let's get that. This is Matthew chapter 24. And I'll start at verse 3. It says, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, okay, and rumors of wars, and as the rumor of wars, World War III. Okay, that's a rumor of war. What's gonna take place. Alright. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, once they implement that MOTB and that CHIP, and they hit Iran, that's it there, that's the trap where the Lord put them in. Okay, World War III gonna take place there, once that happen. Okay, so let a couple of precepts, and what's well in this video will be edifying. Let's get Micah. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. And upon their beds is their round tables where they plan their plans. Okay, for what they want to do. Cause chaos and whatnot. Okay, when the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Okay, that's how they could do, what they want to do. All right, Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, the power in the hand. That's how they could just go in there, go in Venezuela, bomb it up, and take over the oil and whatnot. Well, because the Lord gave them that power. Verse 2, it says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. Okay, you see that happening in Venezuela. All right, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. Okay, that's what they're doing. Let's read the NLT. This is Micah 2 verse 2 in the NLT. It says, when you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. All right, that's what they do. I'm blaming them on the drug cartel or the drug trafficking and all these things. See Trump, he using that as his excuse, so they could, have some excuse, just to take the land, to seize it, so they could get their hands on that oil. All right. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. All right. Okay, that's what they do it. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance. All right. That's what they do it by fraud, lies. Okay. Let's get Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. All right, it says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." All right, that's Esau Edom. All right, okay, as you know today as the so-called white man. Okay, now why they are the wicked and they are created to be the wicked. That's why they do what they do. The Lord created them so. They're never gonna be righteous. All right, verse 5, it says, "Ye also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man." Okay, you see that neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathered up unto him all nations, and heapeth up unto him all people. That's what you see him do there. See Trump now, he getting that pride, the Lord lifting it up, so now we feel, they feel they're untouchable, can't be touched, now they're going after all these countries to get the resources to take them over, so okay, and that's the Lord's plan. Okay, putting them in that stage of pride, to set them for a fall. All right. Okay, and what Proverbs, I think 18 and 16, pride goeth before a fall, or 16 and 18, pride goeth before a fall, and pride goeth before a fall, and a haughty spirit before destruction. All right, and that's exactly what happening to them. This is the Lord's plan. This is what He's doing, setting them up for this trap, which is for them to hit Iran. Let's get a scripture in the Apocrypha. All right, this is get this. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8. Or it says, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit." All right, okay, you see not there. Okay, lies, deceit. This is what they doing in order to get the land, to get Venezuela and thing. Okay, it was all got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, and this is why Esau Edom have to be taken out of power. Okay, because they rule in this world in wickedness. Okay, okay, they are, okay, they rule in this world in wickedness. As you see in the end, that's why as you see here, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. It's translated to Jacob. All right, Jacob got next to rule. Okay, our kingdom coming up. Okay, so they feel the untouchable. That's why the pride lifting up. They feel the Lord not judging them. The Lord empowered them. Not knowing they've slowly, America, Babylon the Great, slowly fallen into that trap. All right, let's go back in the Blue Bible. This is let's get this Psalms. Let's get Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 19. All right, verse 19, it says, "Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit." All right, there's all this drugs and thing and whatnot, framing Venezuela and all these countries. Okay, which probably they're doing that, but he just wanna using that, just to get, get his hands on the resources, verse 20. Okay, it says, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thy own mother's son. All right, you know, um, Esau mother's son, Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca's son, was Jacob. Okay, so that was his mother's son, Jacob. That's who he's slandering on. Verse 21, it says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. Because they feel not getting touched, they feel like the Lord working with them. Okay. But I will reprove thee, all right, and set them in order before thy eyes. The them is Israel. All right, so the Lord gonna reprove them. Let's go in that word reprove. So I guess I'm gonna find the word here. Reprove. All right, this is it here. It says to prove, decide, judge, reprove, correct, be right. All right, the Lord gonna judge them. Okay, the Lord gonna take them out of power. All right, I'm gonna okay. They're gonna be destroyed. Okay, by that nuclear destruction. Okay, that whole Babylon the Great, America, she's gonna be real touched up. Okay, when the Lord will note her. Okay, let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, all right, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. All right, they figure the Lord did not get judged, nothing happened to them, the unbeatable. They could just go on invade all these countries. All right, verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear power, and fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before power. Yehovah Hashem Yahushai, alright? Okay. So they're gonna be judged. Okay, they're gonna be judged. Okay, they're gonna be touched up with those nuclear missiles. Okay, Babylon, America the Great, her day is not gonna be prolonged. Okay, she's not gonna continue. Alright, so let's get the scripture with the trap. Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 23. Alright. Okay, this is the scripture with the trap what the Lord set, from America, Babylon the Great. Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? Or the hammer of the earth is America, Babylon the Great. Okay, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? All right, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken. Okay, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware, and thou art found. All right, they're not aware. They don't know that that's the trap they're slowly heading into. Okay, that's snare. Okay, because that's the main target they want to hit, Iran. All right, and also caught because thou hast striven against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai hath opened his armory, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. All right, his righteous judgment. You know, those weapons there, that's the nuclear missiles. All right. Okay. What are you gonna use to destroy, America? All right. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. All right. See here. So you probably could read down. Just now, verse 26. It says, "Come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left." Yeah, she's gonna be destroyed, by them nuclear missiles utterly. Okay. All right. The Lord gonna turn them nations strong. Let the weak see him strong. All right. Verse 27. It says, "Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation." Verse 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our power, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Alright, the silos, the bow, represents on the, okay, camp against it round about. Let none therefore escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Okay, do unto her, for she hath been proud against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, against the Holy One of Israel. Okay, so Babylon the Great gonna be utterly destroyed. Okay, they're gonna fall in that trap, and the Lord gonna put all nations against her. Okay, and she gonna be utterly destroyed. Okay, Amrica, Babylon the Great. All right, so let's go back here to Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Not 10, 3. It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil." And that's the evil what the Lord have for them. All right, that trap, okay, by going in Iran, invading Iran. All right. So there's our last precept here. Ecclesiastes. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9. Chapter 9 and verse 12. It says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth upon them suddenly." All right. Okay, that's the trap. They're gonna be taken surprised. All right, they don't know they're going into that trap. They slowly enter into that trap that the Lord set for them. All right. So I hope this video has been edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Wa Abad Babal Shalom.